anime, what I consider animation with primary production in the country of Japan, and what Geoff, my co-host, has spent the last 20 minutes saying is King of the Hill. We all know it. We all love it. Today, we are down to figure out the best anime of all time. This is our quest for the best.
I'm Tristan.
I'm Miles.
I'm Geoff.
And this is Quest for the Best, the podcast. But we are on a quest for the best because we are trying to find the greatest anime of all time, nominally 100 of them.
And one day, when both of these chuckle word I probably shouldn't say in the first couple seconds.
You shouldn't say it at all. Just don't.
These two lovely fellas actually watch King of the Hill. They will understand that it belongs in the top 25.
I like King of the Hill. It's just
no.
It's
you just told me you haven't watched the first full seasons.
I
you
watched
haven't
it like
gone through
a normal American who watched it on TV when it was on from time to time out of order.
Yeah. So you haven't seen the like brilliant experiments in continuity that they did in those first 6 seasons. You haven't seen the like absolute heartbreak that Luann goes through. You haven't gone through Peggy's recovery.
The form and format of media.
So this is an anime podcast.
So important.
Where we will be talking about King of the Hill.
We agree that OVA is one of the cool things about them is because their format and the means of their monetization allowed them to be much more creative and expressive and auteur-driven, right? Literally the form and format of OVAs is one of the reasons why anime has become the global medium it is today, because it gave a fertile breeding ground for brilliance and great storytelling with animation. OVA, the format. The fact that nerds in Japan were paying $90 per 2 episodes is why we have great animation. It's why K-pop Demon Hunters exists.
And the reason that America doesn't have a great animation industry is because they sold or they outsourced their entire ability to do that to Japan.
So at the beginning of our podcast, we like to do a thing called Question of the Week. Today's Question of the Week comes from Token Nerd on YouTube, who asks, are there any anime that you guys have watched that have fundamentally changed your outlooks on life for the better, caused you to reevaluate your worldview, or mature as people? And my God, if either of you say King of the Hill, I am ending this call right now.
My point about form and format is King of Hill is meant to be watched out of order.
No, it's not.
So
the first 6 seasons are not.
I'm the real fan.
The first 6 seasons are not meant to be watched out of order. I mean, they were broadcast out of order because that's just the way you had to broadcast TV back then. But if you watch King of the Hill, it's very obvious it's meant to be watched in season order. I'm sorry.
So that's obviously the anime that changed your life. Tristan, what about you?
Yeah. Anohana.
I'm sorry.
Did it change your life or did it just make you cry a lot?
No, it like I feel gave me better tools for processing grief and shit. You know?
Like similarly, from that perspective, my answer would be Clanad After Story. Which, see, here's the thing. There are a handful of things that have made me cry over the years, mostly attuned to music. We all know that if Secret Base starts playing right now, one of us is going to scream to shut it off before something embarrassing happens. That's fine.
All 3 of us are just going to be leaking out of our faces.
Yes. There have been times where I've been able to listen to Secret Base and be okay. It's not consistent, but it happens. There is a song from Clanad After Story that to this day I cannot listen to. I thought about putting it in the sideQuest during the Toronto arc for you guys to listen to, and I'm like, no, that's a terrible idea because I'm going to start bawling as soon as this kicks in, and that's going to be terrible.
Well, no, then we'd know immediately, yeah.
Yeah, well, would you know? I don't know. You'd know now that I've told you and I've relayed this story.
No, because you said at one point in the pod you've only cried to 3 anime, and so it narrows it down. And since it's been like 20 years since I've seen Gallant, so but I think I could still be.
And it was actually 4, and one of those songs did actually make it into that side quest.
Yeah, but you didn't cry during the side quest.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't cry during the side quest. I
Good
did
for
it. I
you.
survived. So that's where I would be Miles.
Yeah, Gintama is the easiest answer for me.
Okay.
So Gintama made me mature as people, changed my outlook on life for the better. So Gintama I watched with my friends from my RuneScape guild over Skype.
And RuneScape.
Which gets advertised to me every day now on Twitter, which is extremely funny. No, so it's the joy of watching something with someone else and sharing those laughs and having that bond over media ended up changing my outlook, like changing my priorities pretty significantly. So it made me want to be part of the anime club at my high school. It made me want to be part of the anime community more deeply because those memories were so important to me. And like, it wasn't the content of the show necessarily. It was more when I was, I had plenty of friends, but everyone in high school, I think to some extent feels loneliness. And everyone has their own struggles. And watching Gintama with my online friends helped me really have the confidence in my life to develop more in-person friends as well. And gave me a lot of really good poop jokes to pull out at a moment's notice too. So like it's like a win-win.
Two equally important things for a human being's development.
I think so.
Yep. Because poop jokes are always funny. So are
Always.
fart jokes because they're tangentially related.
So you would really like to spend time with my children, Tristan, is what I'm saying, what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
I mean, for other anime that have like really changed a lot about, I mean, I think we can all say Orb for all of us.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing. Is like, yes, I agree, but it's also a matter of like I'm trying like in my mind to process how much counts as what has fundamentally changed. Because when you say fundamentally, I feel like that's like a complete 180 flip on something, which I don't know if Orb did necessarily. Like it's like trying to find levels of change. How much has this affected to a point? Has Orb affected me after watching it? Absolutely yes. Was it a fundamental change on my outlook on life? I'm not sure. Does that make sense?
I mean, it certainly made me feel like I have changed some of my behaviors because of Orb. And some of that is more obvious. Like it coincided with my smallest one getting really into planets and space. And so we've been doing a lot of stargazing since Orb came out, like got a telescope and doing a lot of stargazing.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
When you came back, because you went down to Anime Expo. Did you drive down or drive back?
I drove down, yeah.
Okay. On your drive down, did you stop your car on the side of the road, get out, and just bask in the sunlight of either the sunrise or the sunset?
No, but I've been doing that my whole life whenever I've had the opportunity. I did not have the...
So you did that before Orb?
Yeah, absolutely. That was
so
my favorite
Orb
thing in the
did
world. No, the sunrise thing is not what it did. What Orb did to me was just it just reaffirmed things more than anything.
Okay.
Of what I find precious, of like my passion for like the truth and also the lack of truth there in the world. Like let me be more comfortable with the way that history is written.
Well, then, so to my point, does that count as a fundamental change to your outlook on life or not?
No, I wouldn't call it a fundamental change, but I would say that it did deeply affect me. So, like, by the time you're our age, the character development should, unless you're like, Hunter Biden, like the character development's kind of mostly done, right? Like, or like now it's just smaller tweaks rather than big, like,
yeah, because like going back to Clanad for a moment, like I do feel like that was a fundamental change when it happened, but I also feel like it's a fundamental change a little bit more so in remembering about it once like you start having kids. That one specifically, because so much of After Story is tied in to Tomoya getting his kid for the first time and handling becoming a parent.
What you're kind of talking about with the like, did it actually change you, or did it just?
This may just be being pedantic.
No,
over
I mean
the actual wording of the question.
It's an interesting question because like there's a big part of me that wants to just say like Mob Psycho 100 because
I'm surprised you didn't, honestly.
Well, no, because the thing is like Mob is like very fundamental to like my outlook on life and my like general philosophy of I mean, you know, you boil it down, people can change. And
well, I mean, I think you're a much like better person since you've watched Mob.
You know what? You're probably right. Like, I think...
Right, like,
I think
you were such a dick back before you watched Mob Psycho.
Yeah, before that, forget this guy. Didn't want to hang out. But seriously, I actually can see the effect Mob has had on you, having known you pre...
Yeah, you know what?
You're Psycho.
It's probably the one that has actually affected me the most. It's just, like, I don't think of it that way because a lot of what it has to say speaks to things I already believed. Right, to a certain extent, but like,
well, there's a difference between a belief and the way that you live your life. Yeah, and so like the thing is that goodness was always in you. I'm not saying you're a bad person before. I'm just saying, like,
no, but you gave
lead
me
your
a
life
focus.
much more like like I can see you trying to live your life more like Mob. All the time.
I aspire to be like Mob, and to a lesser extent, but still a very important extent, Reagan.
Absolutely.
And also a little bit a little bit Dimple, but just like in
just a bit
post arc Dimple. But I do think that Dimple's ability to be brutally honest with people is like very, very important and something that nobody. But like, I think actually now that I say it out loud, Mob Psycho is like
that's
probably
why we have these discussions.
Did change my fundamental outlook. I guess I don't like thinking about it that way because it like I watched it when I was like but I was like 24, 25 when Mob came out, right?
But that's what I'm saying. That's like that's the right age.
Yeah, you're right.
Like I was still growing a lot as a person into my late 20s. It's only in my 30s that I feel like it's now more gradual changes. Yeah, personally. And I get no problem changing drastically in your 30s. I hate to, the comparison was completely unfair I made earlier, but what I mean? My point. I just watched the interview like in full, so that's just top of mind.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough.
The thing is, I feel like I will, because of like Mob Psycho specifically, I am going to try to keep changing through my 30s. I'm gonna try to keep finding things that do like make me want to fundamentally improve myself, right? Because I think all of us are on a journey to improve ourselves, and anybody who convinces themselves that there's some arbitrary cutoff when that's stops or becomes lesser is falling into a trap.
And again, I don't mean to imply that that's the case. I just mean it's, the big shifts in your life generally are when you're younger.
And the best way to change and improve is to watch more anime. And to go on a journey and discover the best anime.
I can actually, Miles, I can think of one other story that has fundamentally changed the both of us, an isekai, that has, I think, made both of us better people.
Sword Art Online.
Dungeon Crawler Carl.
That too.
Hi, welcome to the Tristan cam. This is becoming a regular segment here on the show where we focus on me on my main camera because we're going to do that while they discuss Dungeon Crawler Carl elsewhere. How you doing? You having a good day? Perfect. Now,
but that I think is the most one of the most recent things besides Orb, because Orb and Dungeon Crawler Carl hit like relatively similar. No, Carl was like the last, even sooner than that. But like You Will Not Break Me has become like fundamental mantra.
So this is where I'm going to disagree with you. I think you're already that, like,
I already believed in it, sure, but
no, I think you kind of lived your life like it and tried to espouse those values and virtues like pretty well. This is what I mean about like in your 30s, the shifts are usually a little smaller because like Dungeon Crawler Carl appealed to you and me and would appeal to Tristan if he wasn't such a stubborn man. So much because it like hits at like your values so well.
Yeah. I guess I guess if anything, it just like intensified my willingness to, given the opportunity, do certain things to certain people in the green rooms of talk shows.
One thing I don't want, I would be remiss to skip over is Dragon Ball. Because if you watch Dragon Ball in your youth and did sports or anything else, and it did not massively affect you and inspire you.
Oh yeah, I mean, I
maybe have no soul.
I took Taekwondo because of Dragon Ball, just straight up, like
nice.
I mean, if the whole Shonen Jump oeuvre was massively foundational for all three of us.
Probably more so to you two than me. There was very little Shonen Jump in my diet as a child.
That sounds like
Dragon Ball was kind
problem.
of like a massive portion of. Well, it's a combination of me problem and a combination of like what was available to me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, no, I mean, you also gravitated immediately towards the VN adaptations the moment you had internet access.
That's true.
Whereas I was on Arlong Park forums back when forums were a thing, right? It's.
Yeah. And I mean, for me, as soon as I was able to get to stuff, it was Dragon Ball, Yu Yu Hakusho, Ranma, just, speaking of Yu Yu Hakusho, actually, this is a great segue back to what got us talking about King of the Hill, which is I wanted to show and tell the greatest pins that I own.
He has some pins. For the audio listeners, he has some pins that are the four main characters of King of the Hill. Poses.
It's the four main characters of Yu Yu. It's the four main characters of Yu Yu Hakusho in the King of the Hill opening.
They look more like the King of the Hill characters than the Yu Yu Hakusho characters, which is why I didn't pick up on them when you first showed them to us.
You think these look more like... I'm sorry. These definitely look more like the Yu Yu Hakusho characters than the King of the Hill characters. Audio-only people. Sorry.
Anime has made all of our lives better in other ways than the actual medium. Or than the actual, fictional content. But I do think... And I've been very intense about this. I got an argument with my... not argument, that's the wrong word. With an Uber driver a couple months ago, who was trying to complain about why all these books are being banned in schools, right? Or he was saying they should be banned in schools. And I'm like, well, actually, just because you don't agree with the philosophy, this is not an agenda someone's shoving down someone's throat. I find whenever someone uses the phrase shove down throat for anything, they are quite crass, and also their argument doesn't have any meaningful thought behind it. That phrase to me is just a warning sign of I am repeating this because someone else said it. Which is not necessarily a problem, right?
No, I think it is a problem. Well, I think it is a problem.
I think we as people should definitely listen to others and try and synthesize that for our own opinion. But when they use that exact phrase, it tends to be, in my opinion, someone just parroting someone else, which is not that synthesis that I would prefer.
Well, so what I mean is that phrase is the antithesis of we should listen to other people and draw in their opinions. If you're they're shoving it in my face, that literally just means that's an admission. I am uncomfortable with this being depicted or shown in any way, and when it is shown, I feel attacked. That's it's a confession. If somebody's they're shoving it in my face, maybe this conversation will change in 10 years when we've got the implants and you literally have to pay a fee to go to sleep without watching 5 ads. But for now, nothing is being shoved in your face.
Well, at school it kind of is, which was this guy's point. And to which I said, listen, there are a lot of books that I did not like that I had to read in school, in my American school system. And the ones and a lot of them were about people who had very different lives than me. And I said, it was still extremely helpful to me as a youth to get in the heads of other people and other perspectives. And it made me more sympathetic, and it made me reevaluate my worldview, as the question asks here, constantly, especially middle school level, because they were different than my own personal experiences. And so I'm trying to tell this to my Uber driver, just because the books don't align with your worldviews or your values doesn't mean they're not helpful. And only a fool is going to read a book and then have it necessarily fundamentally change their identity or how they feel about the world, but it should at least make you think about things more critically when you get inside someone else's head. And art is a great way to get inside someone else's head. And that's why art is great. And that's why anime is great. Go watch Orb.
Go watch Orb. I think all people should be more open to just like experiencing different points of view, and like even if they don't change the way you look at things, just looking at things through another person's eyes, I think is really valuable. That's why I like, even though I fundamentally disagree with a lot of the underlying philosophies of, say, Attack on Titan, right? I think
you don't like the philosophy of I'm 17 and this is the coolest shit in the world?
I mean, the funny thing is that is literally like the defining philosophy of the entire thing. Like, he's like, I probably should have come up with a better ending for this, but I felt committed to the one that I wrote when I was 17.
Which I respect so much, by the way.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But like,
love Attack on Titan.
Yeah, Attack on Titan is great. You know, asterisk. There's some later parts of Attack on Titan that are not
so all
great.
of this to say is that people should pay attention and experience other people's worldviews, like your worldview that King of the Hill is in fact anime.
No, that's not a worldview. That's just a fact.
I wouldn't call it a worldview either. I'd call it a delusion.
It's just a fact. Watch the comments. People will absolutely.
I have no problem with
I don't doubt that.
Listen, if we're gonna call Captain Laserhawk an anime, which is
we're not calling
show,
Captain Laserhawk anime,
but Netflix does, and most people who watch it do, which is again totally fine. That's where we're at. Like,
this is not where we're at. Before Netflix, people were calling King of the Hill anime correctly.
Says the guy with the Corey in the House is an anime video. Let's move on to our side quest.
Corey in the House is an anime April Fool's video.
Did you know that for about 10 years, Crunchyroll.com/Corey-in-the-house redirected to Shirobako?
Fantastic.
And I wonder who did that.
I wonder. Who could have done that?
It's a mystery.
Does it still do that?
No, until like 2021. Also, if you went to Crunchyroll.com/AOTY, it would always be Shirobako.
They should never have given you that power.
They didn't. That was part of the reason it's not there anymore.
So our side quest. What was our side quest? Let me remind myself. Here we go. Our side quest today. Normally we do a lot of different kinds of side quests. But today our side quest is about you, the viewer.
Yeah.
Hi, how you doing? You've left some comments. And normally, yes, sometimes we take questions and turn them into the question of the week, specifically those that are sent to the email, but also if we find it on social media and that. But today we are going to be responding to comments that aren't necessarily questions, but are statements that they probably believe are statements of fact. And we're just going to talk about them in general. So to start us off, we're going to have this comment that was placed on our on episode 14 for Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. And this commenter says, "This is a bit ridiculous now. Your name is Quail Quested, and Spirits Within gets an actual shot on the list. I know everybody has different opinions, but this is actually wild. I don't know how much more I can take." First of all, thank you for watching. I'm glad you were able to take enough to actually finish the video and then comment your wonderful comment. But also, yeah, this is reality. Welcome to it.
I mean,
gentlemen, your takes, please.
I think it makes sense. I mean, obviously it makes sense because we're the guys who made that decision.
Yes,
but
we are.
But
was it a good decision?
Who knows?
Some would say no.
For credibility's sake, probably not. But fundamentally, I think the reason for that is like your name is something that people will ask if it's going to be on the list, and it's something that we should address in some capacity. That it's not, because none of us believe that it's anime of the forever material.
But some little part of us would be like, you know what? Spirits Within, though.
I mean,
probably won't, but if it could.
The thing is, right? Like, Spirits Within is a historically super important anime.
But we've stated multiple times that is not the impetus of this list.
But it's a good reason to watch something.
It is a good reason to watch it and talk about it. It's also like, I mean, yeah, it was a landmark for technology. It was like a laundry list of what not to do for every future CGI production.
But more importantly, it was something we wanted to watch together while we were all together in the same room in Tirana.
Yeah, that was a very good reason as to why we picked Pompo, why we picked Spirits Within, why we watched Cleopatra. So here's another one. I don't have a comment in front of me, but I'm sure we can find one. Why Cleopatra and not Belladonna of Sadness or 1001 Nights? I know we kind of very briefly mentioned why in the episode itself, but I've seen it commented enough that maybe we should readdress.
Yeah, so I am a big fan of Belladonna. It's one of my favorite anime of all time. It's in top 30 at the very least for me. I had not seen Cleopatra, and I had the Blu-ray, and I really wanted to watch it, and I really want to watch it with my guys, Tristan and Geoff.
It was a good decision. We got blasted. We watched Cleopatra.
You got blasted.
That is not something you should probably say in the context of this specific film.
It's fine.
Yeah, because Tristan doesn't want to talk about getting blasted when we did go to share a bed immediately after watching the film. So the point being, we just wanted to watch it. None of us had seen Cleopatra before. With Spirits Within, I had not seen it, or I didn't think I had seen it, and I confirmed that I had not really seen the movie. I'd seen like maybe 20 minutes of it on a bus as a kid. Right.
Or like on TV at some point, because it was on TV a lot because the rights for it were cheap because
they need to make any money
they needed to make literally any money back. Yeah.
And both Geoff and Tristan were like, it's better than everyone says. I'm like, all right. And it was.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not list material, as we concluded.
Well, we weren't very conclusive about that, hence the question. I mean, that was kind of the thing. We were here's the thing. We were very positive towards it in comparison to the vast majority of public opinion on this film. And that's kind of the thing. We didn't bash it to hell and back as most people would have expected or assumed. Like a lot of people, like I remember the comments coming in on the video beforehand where people were like, wait, you're talking about Spirits Within? Why? Why would you ever? And it's just because public opinion is to bash the hell out of that movie so much.
Yeah, we want, and I think it deserves a reevaluation to a certain extent.
To a point.
You know?
Well, and we did that, but we were extremely gracious to it.
Yeah.
And I think part of that was we were all evaluating it on the basis of the environment in which we watched it in.
Which was a good time. Talking about Steve Buscemi, etc.
Yeah, I mean, like, every part of that movie and that episode, really, I have cooled on the movie significantly. Well, not significantly, somewhat since then. But like, I really just had such a great time with it. And I think that speaks well to the movie. But also in the episode, listening back several, months at this point later.
Months later, yeah.
Yeah, I certainly was way, way more generous to it than I would have been if we recorded it at like 11 a.m. on a random day.
Do one of you want to take a look at the rest of the sync doc and pick something out? Or would you prefer if I went through everything as we go?
DSDB12 asks, says we're going to need an update about My Dress Up Darling Season 2 because it's doing wonders with addressing our complaints, Tristan, yours and mine. So there was a couple comments of this, like someone said, Miles' initial assessment of Gojo is too perfect and not a character is exactly how I felt about Rentaro during 100 Girlfriends.
Sorry. Yeah.
But more people were actually mad at me about that. And I saw a lot of this, and I think it's totally justified because I basically watched the first 6 episodes when they came out. And then I watched the last 6 episodes for the podcast. And to me, the last 6 episodes, he doesn't need to improve anymore as a character because he's gotten over his biggest hangups. And
he's already did most of that. Yeah.
And like the other thing about that is all the flaws he still has at the end of season 1 feel like to me what a lot of people complain about, like Mary Sue's of like, oh, the only flaw she's too perfect. Oh, he's too sweet. Oh, he's just the right amount of like neurotic to be like really cute about it. Or he's, just shy enough that he's not going to make me jealous of him talking to other girls. Like all of his traits that could be perceived as negative, to me, speak to like husbando bait more than not. He is a character. He's a reasonably okay character on the scheme of the whole show, and I was a little critical of him. And I have heard season 2 is actually puts him in a better context with the new characters that join the show.
Season 2, like just the first episode, I do really think it might be due for a like full reevaluation.
That was kind of the thing though, because I remember when we were discussing what we were going to talk about during the Toronto arc, and Dress Up Darling came up, and one of the reasons why we did it is because we were like, okay, well, work this down the line, it'll probably get released around the time that season 2 is airing, and then that's like a good synergy. We're talking about season 1 when season 2 is airing. We didn't necessarily think through the whole point of, any points we make could be invalidated by the new season that is by that point already airing and may already have the answers or the fixes to problems that we point out. We didn't think that far ahead necessarily. But I don't think it is too negative on our thoughts per se, because I still very much like the fact that we did have that discussion before any of us got to watch season 2, even if it didn't get released before the actual season did. I
mean, same with Penny and Stocking. I'd be shocked if my overall sentiments towards the show change enough to make me want to move it up the list meaningfully. But at the same time, I'm eager to watch season 2, and I'm ready to be proven wrong.
I think like, I don't think that would happen with Panty and Stocking, because season 2 is more of the same,
which is great.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we want. But
it's more of the same. And in fairness, comparatively, I did end up watching an episode or two of Panty and Stocking like right before we did record that episode, and I kind of already determined, as good as the second season will be, it won't fix a lot of the personal hangups that I had that I explained in that particular episode. And so I'm good, but I don't know how much the episode of Dress Up Darling that we did would have changed had we had like the first couple of episodes of season 2 available to us before we recorded.
I mean, I haven't watched it yet, so I can't say one way or another. But also, like, how much could you change that show to make me fall in love with the characters more? I like the characters a lot. That's never been the issue. Is it just doesn't come together as like definitive. It just does a lot of things really well, and I think Geoff, like, what did you call it, the best Gunnar bait show of all time, like non-ecchi
Dress Up Darling?
Yeah, the best non-ecchi or something.
I mean, I don't think I said it was non-ecchi because it's ecchi.
Yeah, the best non-harem ecchi. No, what did you call it? You gave it best in class.
Yeah. Which, I mean, yes, I do believe that, but also the best ecchi that you can share with a woman is what I called it, and I stand by that. But also, like, I don't know, I feel like even episode 1 of season 2 might make you reevaluate some stuff, because there's like some it hits a really, really strong emotional moment for Gojo, and it does it with like really good show don't tell storytelling. It's good.
Well, thankfully, we've already determined, like way back when we did Delicious in Dungeon, that we were going to be doing follow-ups on things that weren't fully completed, with the knowledge that they do actually get fully completed. There are plenty of things that we're probably going to talk about, if we have not already, in the future that may not get completed in one way or another. That's entirely
endings
possible.
Are paramount. Freerun's my favorite anime.
Yeah, precisely. I mean, Freerun's already great. Like, unless the ending or the continuation massively screws that up, which possible, but the original material doesn't support that. We'll see.
May I quickly, one of the things we did also get, Tristan and I took some criticism in the Dress Up Darling episode by, like, we were accused of being anti-ecchi or saying that, like, we won't let ecchi on the list. And I just want to say, how dare you, sir, or madame, or any other formal statement you'd like to be referred to as person. Tristan and I may not be the connoisseurs of the sewer that Geoff is, but we are no strangers nor no enemy of ecchi.
You ain't no prudes.
Well, Tristan might be a prude, but that's a different story.
Little bit.
I mean, definitely more so than YouTube, but not in the same way that most people would use the word.
Do you want to read the next one, Tristan?
No, we're skipping over that one.
No,
we're not talking about Dungeon Crawler Carl. Fine, it might be amazing, but hearing you guys describing Dungeon Crawler Carl sounds like someone doing Mad Libs. Also, reading an audiobook, that's a new one to me. I don't remember what this is in regards to. This was on our ReZero video, so I can't necessarily
I mean, there's so many, probably me talking about the fish Nazis, if I remember correctly.
Oh, boy.
I think I had said previously that I thought that Geoff's original pitch for the series was really off-putting to me personally. And I will stand by that. The Mad Libsification of Dungeon Crawler Carl is both delightful and makes it a harder sell. Yeah. I would say that you just need to trust that Geoff has really good opinions about things more often than not. And he feels extremely strongly about this one. And when I say I have read/listened to, because this person's like saying reading an audio.
We don't even qualify that, Miles. I'm sorry. You read audiobooks. When you listen to an audiobook, that counts as reading. You are consuming a book. We call that reading in contemporary culture. This is pedantic, nitpicking horse shit
That's like saying that our children don't read when we read to them in the evening. They're still
absorbing the book. Yeah. It's like
Jason.
My girls can literally, they don't read in the traditional sense, but there are many books on our shelves that they can pull down and then just through memory and osmosis recite the whole book.
And to that, I think that this attitude of audiobooks aren't reading or whatever, it's like
needs to die.
It's some elitist horse shit that actually straight up makes books less accessible. No, but a lot of kids, their main method of reading now is Audible, right? A lot of kids just have an Audible subscription from their favorite YouTuber
and you can get one at audible.com/basement.
I don't think that's active anymore. Doesn't matter.
It was at one point in time.
But
thanks, Bezos.
But
maybe by the time this episode comes out, we'll have an Audible sponsorship of our own. And if we do, it'll be right here.
The fundamental thing is like, if you're absorbing books, you're absorbing books. That's good. We should encourage kids to do that. And when you're like, well, it's not really reading, you're making kids who are actively engaging with books and adults for that matter, because adults need to read more too. You're telling them that it's not valid and you're making them feel bad about it. And that's just, it's a stupid, bad attitude to have. And that's like one of my big pet peeves about the book community is like, audiobooks don't count. I'm with John Green on this. I'm with Hank Green,
with other YouTubers, of course,
other
only other people you trust for opinions,
with best-selling authors.
To bring it back to Jason's larger point, don't worry about what it's about. Just trust the fact that Geoff and I both say that like Orb and Dungeon Crawler Carl are like the pieces of media we've enjoyed this year that have meant the most to us, that have like really affected us the most. And Tristan feels that way about Orb, and he would feel that way about Dungeon Crawler Carl if he wasn't such a coward.
Yes. If he wasn't so scared of all the Mad Lib stuff and like didn't understand that when I say fish Nazis, we are talking about fundamentally a very thoughtful deconstruction of fascism from an absurdist comedy angle.
And if that doesn't sound good to you, don't worry, it is.
It is good. You'll like it anyway.
Yeah.
Like when I say that the talking sex doll head is one of the greatest characters ever written, you're going to be like...
The next comment is, you guys couldn't figure out how to tie Dungeon Crawler Carl to Dress Up Darling? Podcast ruined, shut it down.
That's fair.
In 2 seconds. In 2 seconds, Geoff, please. How would you tie those things together?
In 2 seconds? I guess I already failed. How would you,
Miles?
Cosplay. I mean, yeah, and fandom and stuff.
Because someone said they wanted us to do more Dress Up Darling stuff in cosplay. And if we both came up showing up in the same outfit, and it would be Carl. That'd be so funny.
Or actually, no, I get some big glasses, cosplay donut.
Another comment from Say318. I love it when they are politely about to gouge each other's eyes for their opinions. This is peak otaku friendship right here.
Goddamn right it is. Yeah, I love fighting with you guys.
I mean, I was ready to
miss the fight out behind the hotel that was had when I said that 100 girlfriends won't be on the list and should be kill quested.
Yeah.
Or when we were doing our top 10 action movies of all time and neither of you guys said Redline at all.
Yeah.
Okay, well I think that's a little different because
that's just straight up a memory problem.
Yeah, in my
I have to own that.
I don't categorize it as an action movie in my brain. I categorize it as
a racing movie,
which is slightly
different.
Which is although I mean fundamentally it is an action movie. It's although
it's the difference between the original Fast and the Furious and wherever the hell they are now.
We at
That's
some
the difference there.
Separately on Redline though, we need to have a discussion at some point, like a very serious discussion. Because I don't think people realize this. One of the most foundational works for like anime as a movement, or not the most, but a very foundational work, is Wacky Races. Wacky Races is huge in Japan.
This sounds like it needs to be part of the Redline episode.
It does. And also an Appare Ranman episode. But no, like if you've ever been to a pachinko parlor in Japan, you will see so much Dick Dastardly. It's not even like
so Dick Dastardly is different than Wacky Racers. And Wacky Racers is really good. One of my favorites of that whole environment, the Hanna-Barbera era. But what your Dick Dastardly is not like, sorry to get like data guy on you, but like just because a character design is popular 40, 50, 60 years later does not mean that the fundamental content in which it's from is popular, because you can still buy a bunch of Betty Boop stuff. And the only Betty Boop media that's popular in the last 50 years is Mr. Boop, which is a fantastic comic you should all read. Okay,
well, Dick Dastardly and Muttley, you can draw a direct line from them through a whole bunch of Toei and Tatsunoko anime in the 90s to Team Rocket.
I'm not saying it's not foundational. I'm just saying that your example is...
Yeah, that's saying that it's in a lot of pachinko parlors is anecdotal, but also, like, if you look at... or
non-representative, rather.
Yeah.
Not even
like, if you look at the bad guys in Time Dokkan, for example, I
do all the time, yeah.
Yeah. Very clearly inspired by Hanna-Barbera style villains. Long Ring Longland is a gigantic tribute to Wacky Races specifically, and then Hanna-Barbera cartoons generally. That's another conversation. Sorry. This is supposed to be rapid fire, and I got really hung up on that point.
Wait, you're getting hung up during a rapid fire episode? Are you sure?
All right, let's keep...
This one's a little bit more of an up-feely comment that doesn't really need much discussion, but should be said anyway. I'm really looking forward to this podcast of you three and the team behind the camera every week, more than most releasing anime. Great job, Tristan, Miles, Geoff, and team. I hope some more of my favorites make the list. I like that they added the "and team" because we love both Yazy and Chloe very much.
They're very important. This wouldn't exist without them.
None of us have Appare in our top 100, by the way. Appare Ranman.
I figured that's what you were double checking. I was just like, I very much know we're talking about.
I don't think I put it, but I still I want to give that one the ups.
That can be part of the anecdote that you go into a bit more detail.
We can talk about it in the Redline episode, yeah. But like maybe it should be, because the thing is, it's got steampunk, it's got cowboys versus samurais, and it's got a samurai cutting bullets out of the air with his samurai sword, that's
never happened in a movie or anime before. Yeah.
I'm not saying it's never happened in a movie or anime before.
I think there's like 3 different Predator movies that's happened in.
Predator movies?
Yeah, there's a lot of good Predator movies.
I should watch more Predator movies. I've only seen...
You should.
I've watched Predator 1, which was peak, and then I watched Predator 2, which was peak in the exact opposite way that Predator 1 is peak.
So literally every Predator movie is good. Yeah, which is crazy. Except for the Predator vs. Alien movies are not Predator movies.
I will say Predator 2 is like fundamentally a bad movie, but it's one of the best bad movies I've ever seen in my entire life.
So like it is like 3 stars and a favorite on Letterboxd type thing, right? Like
yeah.
Or 2 stars and a favorite. Like, but yeah, it's the worst one, but also it's the best.
It's so good. But yeah, apparently I should watch more Predator. I've seen AVP 1, which is good. You know, AVP is just...
It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It does literally what it says on the tin. It does exactly what you'd expect. And from that perspective, it's okay.
Like tonight, I'm going to be watching the most recent Avatar movie, which is an animated anthology movie on Hulu. Like, hell yeah. How do you make that bad? And the answer is I'll find out tonight.
Evil Kronos 13 says, as a Canadian, we do not condone Tristan's opinions on Spirited Away. Yes, you do. Shut up. Let's move on.
Someone said, Miles, nobody watches old anime. Nyanel says this. Nyanel, it's true. Nobody watches old anime. And then you give examples. And one of those examples is one of the exceptions that prove the rule. There are some legacy franchises like Yu Yu Hakusho, Hunter x Hunter, the original one, Dragon Ball, that people still do watch. Sailor Moon. The thing is, outside of those exceptions, no one watches old anime, and even those exceptions are extraordinarily rare. Like, yes, for the first half of 2025, Naruto was the most watched anime on Netflix. Does that mean that people are just watching old anime? Well, one, it feels weird to call Netflix old. I mean, Naruto old. Makes me feel old to call Naruto old, but like the legacy franchises that are still existing in some form or function today, or that still like there's only maybe 20 of them, don't really count towards that. And even then, they are still not. If you take up all the hours of anime watched, most of it comes from the last 2 to 3 years.
I mean, even, like it changed now because of GQuacks a little bit, but getting young people to watch Gundam is like pulling teeth. Like any Gundam, even older than 90s Gundam. Most kids today, they look at like...
Well, even 90s Gundam. Like trying to get someone to watch like Wing or even G Gundam.
No, actually,
you can point to G Gundam for the memes, and even that's hard.
G Gundam is harder to get people to watch than Wing, because Wing has so many out-of-pocket moments from the first couple episodes.
Doesn't matter. No one watches Wing unless their partner made them watch Wing, or their best friend made them watch Wing, and those people are only watching Wing because they grew up with it, so it's more of a legacy title to them. It's nostalgia. Yeah. It's not. It just.
I mean, that's why I watched Wing.
Yeah,
because I have that early ass memory of when YTV put on Endless Waltz on television one night when I was, I think, at my uncle's place or something, and we had pizza and what have you, and we were watching Endless Waltz.
And it awakened something in you?
That was my introduction to Gundam, everybody. Endless Waltz, not even Wing proper. Endless Waltz. Good times.
I mean, most of the anime on the shelf behind me are as old or older than me, right? Like it just the Wuthering Continent, older than me. Therme Romai. No, that's early 2000s. Animation Runner Kuromi. Peak. The Panda and the Magic Serpent. This, I think, if it's not a bootleg, looks and acts like it. But this was the first animated film of all time, a color animated feature of all time.
First color animated feature to come out of Japan, yes.
Yeah.
We can actually talk about that's something we should watch at some point, because that is something that's on MAL that, like, you can have a conversation about does that or does that not count as anime. Panda and the Magic Serpent, because it's pre-Tezuka. It's pre-Astro Boy. That's a whole separate thing, although it does connect to the bottom part of this comment.
Legend of Lemnir. I think this is older than me, but look at this cool cover art, video watchers. Isn't this the coolest thing you've ever seen in your life? And it comes with an offer to get a free DVD rental of your choice.
From where?
Netflix.
Kids today are so damn spoiled with their streaming services. The reason we watched old anime is
we had to walk uphill, downhill in the snow.
We had to walk to the thrift store uphill both ways in order to pick out the 5 or 10 anime DVDs that they had on the shelf. DVDs. And it would be some crap like
Dog Soldier.
Yeah, Dog Soldier or
my DVD store was mostly Funimation pilled, and they had like Dragon Ball and FMA, honestly. But they always were missing volumes, and that was the annoying thing.
Yeah, I own Haunted Junction entirely because I got it at a local store for like $5.
Do you guys remember in like the late aughts, right? Stuff used to do that thing where they're like, "We'll give you 50 anime DVDs for $25."
Oh,
and it was
that
like
was the best.
The best and worst thing that ever could have happened. And like I gave away most of those during my anime club in school. But like you would get like volume 4 of the worst anime you've ever heard of and like 3 copies of it. It was great. I missed that.
So my coolest friend in high school, and by that I mean the guy who ran LAN parties that like 30 people from 5 different schools showed up to, who had at his LAN parties, his parents had like a custom home media server set up, or maybe he set it up himself because he did move that media server to his apartment when he moved out. And anybody at the LAN party could download any anime that was on the server. He was just the coolest dude.
But thank you, commenters, for shouting out our producers, Chloe and Yazy, because they do help make this podcast go.
Thank you very much. And just very quick to the second half of that thing. Spirits Within being on MAL doesn't matter because the people who run my anime list don't know what anime is. Bottom text. But all that brings us to our main quest for the week, in which, as you may have guessed if you've looked at the title of the video already, we are going to be discussing Apocalypse Hotel, a recent anime, very recent, from last season, from the spring season, an original anime produced by Cygames Pictures as part of their ongoing campaign to save anime.
Thank you, Cygames Pictures.
Thank you very much, Cygames Pictures, for using the horse gotcha money for good. We forever appreciate you and what you do. So, Apocalypse Hotel, the premise is, at some point in the near-ish future, humanity develops AI-powered robots that can, function basically like human beings in day-to-day work. A very rich man decides to staff his entire hotel with these robots. And then unrelated to that, a virus gets out that permeates the Earth's atmosphere, kills all human beings basically on contact, and forces a very small portion of the human population to escape Earth in spaceships while everybody else dies. 500 years later, the robots...
100 years at the start.
Wasn't it? No, it was...
So basically, you have to work backwards.
This show's very, very wibbly-wobbly.
I forget.
No. I wrote down times. I wrote down times every time there was a time skip, and I can tell you it's between 1 and 250 years that the first episode takes place.
Okay,
because she has only been the backup manager for about 100 years in episode 1.
And so after 150 years, most of the robots have broken down. But Yachio, the interim...
The greatest robot.
Yeah, the interim manager of the hotel is trying her best to keep things together with such wonderful characters as Door Robot.
Gotta love Door Robot.
He's
got one job and he does it so well. He opens doors.
For hundreds of years.
Hundreds of years. Even though there are no guests at this hotel, his one job, open the door.
Open the door, and he does it.
Just the front door. He doesn't open any other door.
That's not true.
The front door.
That's not true. Later, when they're working on the spaceship, he repeatedly opens and closes the door on the spaceship door to test the spaceship door.
And he opens the doors to the people who visit the hotel's hearts.
That's true. And there's also concierge robot, bathroom cleaning robot, etc., etc. They're all adorable in their own ways. I think this is some of like the most peak CG anime character design since the Tachikoma.
I was about to say if you didn't bring up Tachikomas, I would absolutely bring up Tachikomas.
Other than our main character, they are all Tachikoma-esque pretty much.
Little drone dudes. Our main character
Yachio is the only humanoid one that
the last humanoid member of the staff that is still operational, because all of the other ones have had fatal errors and can't replace their parts. So she's been running the hotel 250 years, like clockwork every day, checks all the rooms,
does all the linen, checks for all the shower caps.
Yeah, all the shampoo. No, all caps. Not shower caps, shampoo hats. That's a very important distinction, Tristan, because people use shower caps. The running joke is the shampoo hat is the most important thing in the entire hotel.
You're explaining the show to me like I didn't watch it, Geoff.
But it is important because shower caps are things that people use, and shampoo hats are a thing that only exists in hotels.
I have never seen one of those at a hotel, to be fair. Even
That's
the Japanese
because you don't
hotel that we stayed at.
You didn't go to a nice enough one. Sorry.
Yeah. It's a fancy hotel thing. Anyway,
well, no, it's also like for hotels where you expect kids, or if you it's usually honestly something you'd have to request anyway.
Yeah, but they're so high end that you don't have to request it here. It's provided for you.
It's kind of tacky actually that you don't have to request it, but that's it. Anyway.
Yachio has been running this hotel like clockwork for 250 years, just waiting for the humans to come back, just waiting to get any guests at all. And then she does.
And then aliens
show up. And over the course of the next several centuries, this hotel grows from just odd remnants of the pre-apocalypse human world to one of the greatest hotels in the galaxy, to maybe the greatest hotel in the galaxy. That is on their official company charter, that they want to be the greatest hotel in the galaxy. And you just watch over, again, hundreds of years as different customers come and go and maybe stay in this hotel, and
way longer than they should.
And these robots deal with the existential crisis of
humanity not coming back.
Their purpose in life. They have
a raison d'etre, and they keep questioning it or not questioning it. That's part of the job too.
God, yeah, and it's just. When you describe the story out loud, it sounds interesting, right?
It does. If you look at the key art, it looks interesting.
It looks very interesting.
I was sold on key art. I'm pretty sure, Miles, you were sold on key art too, weren't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. If you have good taste in anime, you look at that key art, you're like, this is going to be a real good one. And then you actually start watching it and you're like, this may in fact be as good as any anime that's come out this year.
I mean, to be fair, I would just watch it. There are very few studios where I will watch anything that they put out.
Side Games Pictures is becoming one of those studios, honestly.
For me, yeah, too. Like
between Summer Hikaru died, Cinderella,
the easiest way to put it is their worst anime is Minaria Friends, and that's like a solid 6 out of 10.
But they're not a studio that just keeps producing solid 6 out of 10.
No, they that's their worst anime.
Yeah.
Most of their anime is in the 9 to 10 range, and this is a 10.
The Western perspective on studios is usually quite overblown. Like we put a lot more value on it than deserves. Like a lot of times the studio who's listed as the studio for an anime produces maybe 2 or 3 episodes. Like that's not rare.
The only places where studio really matters are if it's like Kyoto Animation, Bones, like one of the like
Madhouse, like one of the old guard, the people that were making them like back in the day that are still around.
No, the ones that get themselves on the production committees.
That was the distinction. Yeah.
The ones that like get their
have
own
a stake in everything.
Have an actual creative stake in the project.
Because then they can kind of curate the stories that they're telling. And especially for originals, that it matters more because it's like who in your orbit is working on this anime. And with this, like a lot of folks who worked on like Princess Connect and stuff worked on this title. Zombieland Saga, a lot of the same people. Series composer is the same. Shigeru Murakoshi. Like, these are really talented people, and it shows.
Cygame's whole mission statement seems to be pull together a lot of talented animators, have them like 50% of the time work on the best possible anime that they could possibly make to sell our gacha games, and then use the money from those gacha games to allow those people to make their dream projects, which incentivizes them to stay on with Cygames Pictures and make more cool anime about their gacha games. No, seriously. I can in like 2 sentences, I can sell both of you on the most recent Uma Musume film very easily. Okay, go for it.
So you know that Uma Musume.
Done.
So you know that Uma Musume is about horse girls and they race, right?
No, it's about Uma Musume's.
What if Cygames Pictures hired the guys from Science Saru that did the running animation from Devilman Crybaby and had them then animate Uma Musume running around a racetrack?
Fantastic. Sold.
10 out of 10 film.
I mean, like, the thing is, like...
Coming soon to a podcast near you if I can drag it through their watch.
I mean, the thing about Cygames stuff is, like Minaria Friends is kind of the only thing that dips into the 6 out of 10 range, or even... It's one of the few that's in the 7 out of 10 range. It was their first anime.
8 years ago?
Yeah. And it's like a cute little slice of life moe thing about 2 characters from their card game, which is like a nice low stakes thing. And then Uma Musume never dips below an 8 out of 10. Never. And most of it's 9 to 10. Cinderella.
Out of the 3 of us, I am probably the biggest Uma Musume defender, and even I think that there are some moments that it would dip below 8, not far below an 8,
like a high 7, like a 7.5,
like a high 7, yeah. No, even like a 7.8 or a 7.9, just like really close to that border.
But you're a Special Week hater, so like I don't know how much I trust your Uma Musume.
Special Week. Okay. I'm not a Special Week hater. Not at all, good sir. It's just that Special Week as a character is very much in the background character who's being forced into the main character role.
Wow.
Even when that series came out, she was not the main character. Goldship was, and if it wasn't for Goldship, the entire series wouldn't even freaking exist. Good sir. And then as soon as season 2 kicks in, she is immediately moved into background character territory where she fits better. Yes, this is more likely to be used for a Uma Musume episode. We might cut this. Who knows?
No, we're not cutting this. This is important context because as good as all of that is, you know why Cinderella Grey's better? Because they make a main character the main character.
Oguri Kappa.
Anyway, Apocalypse Hotel.
But yeah, so all of this is to say, Cygames Pictures consistently makes some of the best video game adaptations to ever come out of the anime industry. Like, only Edge Runners is better, I would say, than most of their game adaptations. Their first, the thing that they just bankrolled was they turned one of their random fantasy series into Pirates of the Caribbean. But
yeah, that was great.
So they've been making Peak for a while.
So Tristan and I are both big Girls Last Tour fans.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Geoff, I don't know if you've seen that one.
I've seen like 2 or 3 episodes, and I know I need to finish it because it's. I just need to be in the right emotional state to watch Girls Last Tour. You know.
So Apocalypse Hotel is like, what if Girls Last Tour? That's it. What if Girls Last Tour? Like
bottom text. What if Girls Last Tour? Bottom text.
I really like. I love the post-apocalyptic environment. It reminds me of, a lot of other anime we've talked about.
What about that Dune reference, though?
The YKK stuff. I've already mentioned my love of that series and the manga. The Dune reference is good.
I mean, it is. That whole episode was like, really
solid. Yeah.
The like build up to the big action moment followed by Yada Muri is like embedded in my brain as one of my favorite animation jokes of all time.
And also just like the greatness of the comedic timing when it comes to Yashio's battery all throughout that sequence.
I mean, the comedic timing in this entire show
actually
is
just the comedic timing of Yoshio. Like the fact that she, as a robot, has these secret parameters.
The achievements?
The achievements are so good.
I like
punch a customer, fireworks,
punch a customer. Like,
why is that for a robot that is designed that has the raison d'etre to serve the people at their hotel? Why would you get an achievement for punching a customer?
Because the man running the hotel was like a crazy person. That's one of my favorite little bits of world building. You never meet him, but like. He anticipated that she would meet aliens.
And Pegasi.
And
ride a Pegasus.
And be bitten on the head by a Pegasus. He anticipated that one day she would try his alcohol. And he rewards her for that with boobs. Which is like...
Temporary boobs.
Only when her power core is being fueled by alcohol. She turns into a Ara Ara Onesan. Just...
Ara.
But like... And the jokes with the achievements never stop being funny. The last one made me cackle so hard.
It was the perfect way to end the show. Like the perfect way to end the show.
Like, the thing is, like...
We're not in spoilers yet, but like...
Yeah.
Goodness.
Not in spoilers. Just generally speaking to the people here who are like, should I watch this show? When I started watching it, I was already like, this is an all-timer, right? I was like, this is like gonna be one of at least my personal favorites just for the comedy, the world, the concepts that it's dealing with, the mix of like existential terror on like a unfathomable 100-year scale mixed with just the funniest jokes of all time, like perfect black comedy, perfect absurdist humor. But then I got to the last the last 6 episodes, I would say. The last 6 episodes, I was like, this might be like top 25, maybe higher. The finale is perfect. The last few episodes are perfect. I would say everything after the thing. I mean, everything before it's kind of perfect too, but it's kind of just a perfect TV show.
So every episode, it doesn't have that same kind of episodic feel that other shows like this have. It feels like one long narrative, and there's maybe, there's an issue of the week that they have to solve. Mostly Yoshio has to solve, but like there's.
Well, I mean, sometimes you really need a rod from God. You really just need to build a rod from God.
There's only really 2 characters in this entire series.
Well, no, that's not. There's
characters, not
characters.
Not just
not just cartoons, like
caricatures.
Yeah.
That is grossly underestimating at the very least environmental survey robot.
Okay, yeah, the environmental survey robot, I'll give you that, right? So, like,
baby,
Punko. The moment that Punko joins, there's a family of Tanuki who join.
Tanukians. This is an important distinction. They are Tanukians from the planet Tanuki.
Tanukians
who happen to just fit all of the normal stereotypical character archetypes of human talked about Tanuki,
and oddly bring this conversation back to how poop jokes are peak.
Yeah, there's a lot of poop jokes in their first episode, and so like a family of Tanuki-ins stay at the hotel for about 100 years, and the daughter, the Punko, ends up staying as a member of the
ends
cast.
Up working there,
joining the staff.
They build they all end up either existing around the hotel as like wine moms eternally, or Punko ends up working there, and that's kind of the
continuation,
yes,
and the slight building of the hotel team as it excels towards greatness.
But it has basically that episodic feeling where every episode feels so satisfying and like
and
a complete story in its own right, and yet every episode not just moves forward like the larger story, because it's not really about the larger story. It's really still about Yachio's
the moment. It's
mentality.
It's about bookmarking this day or this 50-year period in every viewer's life.
Yep, and every episode has like 50 to 100-year gap between it. So,
or in it in some cases, in the episode that I know is Miles' favorite episode, where they brew malt whiskey.
Not even my top 3 episodes.
I'm shocked. Because that's like
a great episode.
When I was watching that, I was like, this is so Miles core.
Oh, I love that episode. And that's the thing. Every episode here is a banger.
Yeah.
And every episode makes you feel a lot of things. And again, when I say that there's only like 3 characters in the whole show, it's not really a problem, because those 3 characters, there's not room for anyone else with how much they're doing here. The hotel is its own character, like that
You've got the 3 characters. You've got a very solid supporting cast who can like fill different roles. If you're like, if we're doing a comedy of errors episode where like, we've got these bad hotel guests, we've got to figure this out. All the robots deal with that in a different way. The bad hotel guests.
The guest of the week is always fun.
I'm talking about the Tanukis being bad hotel guests, and then like
terrible hotel guests, one might say.
And they kind of fit those roles, and then they change over time, and the time scale allows for those like the characters to shift into those roles really naturally
without feeling cheap.
Yeah, and they kind of fill in the gaps around whatever character of the week is coming in that the story is about, right? Because it is episodic in that sense that usually there will be a new guest at the hotel or a new situation. Like maybe they have to cover up a murder. Maybe that's what's going on this week.
This anime really asks the question: what if, like I said, what if Girls' Last Tour is
Girls' Last Tour?
Really,
what if Girls' Last Tour?
But also, when I was watching this, what I was thinking of more was, what if Nier was a slice of life? Nier Automata.
It's kind of Nier or Freerun. I would actually, I think there's structurally the idea of like this very long form story broken into episodes.
No, because everyone else is on the same scale. Like the Tanuki live forever.
Oh yeah, no, everybody's on the same scale.
Yeah.
No, it's not. I'm not saying it's emotionally Freerun. I'm saying it's like this like very long scale of storytelling.
But there's no nostalgia either. Like the elements in Freerun that use time to its advantage are not really
the structure of the story of a very long time span being condensed into individual episodes that usually focus on a moment in time, and the specificity of the time between those moments or the time spent in those individual episodes is very flexible. There's a similar sense of how time is passing from episode to episode. Except, I mean, it's a longer time scale in Apocalypse Hotel. But that first episode of Freerun where they cover 100 years in one episode is kind of what Apocalypse Hotel is doing sometimes. Do you see where I'm coming from on that?
No, not at all. I see what you're trying to say, but I just don't think like even structurally speaking, I don't. They're just completely different because the characters that the point of the Freerun gaps were to show how some characters changed and some did not, right? And that's just not that's not what the story here is ever doing.
Yeah, like there is character development for like Yachio over the course of the entire show. But like, I don't necessarily feel like the time gap is part of that. You could have given her the same character development and said it happened in about like 15 or 20 years, and I'd believe it.
I'm not. Again, you're talking like thematically. I'm talking like the structure of how like the events of the story are delivered. It uses it to a different purpose.
The only thing they have in common is that 100 years passed in one episode a couple times. Like, and that's not structurally the same because it's not. They're doing different narrative things with it. So like it doesn't.
I mean, it's not just that. It is the fact that like each episode of Freerun will pick up at like there can be months between episodes. There can sometimes even be like a year or two between episodes of where we pick up with these characters.
Not that much in Freerun. Besides, like when Fern is growing up, like that's kind of
no,
it.
like when
the gaps get like it's only like in the first little bit where we see the big 100-year-ish gap in episode 1, and then like episode 2 when we're introduced to Fern, that's like a few years condensed. But then from that point on, like the most we get is like a season, like when they're stuck in the cabin for a whole winter or what have you.
Yeah, I guess I'm more thinking of early Freerun and then the specific episodes. But
and even then, the time skip is a little bit different because we don't get a lot of big time skips between episodes. Most of the time, the time skips become like a montage within the episodes themselves. So like we skipped over that whole winter, but we saw the montage of all of the stuff that they were doing in that cabin and everything with Kraft while it was going on. Most of the bigger time skips happen in episode, not.
That is also something that does happen in Apocalypse Hotel. There'll, like
Apocalypse Hotel does more jumping in between the episodes
when they're making the whiskey, when they're making the rocket.
That's also the first time that we see them do like any semblance of a major time jump. Really, is when they do the whiskey. That was like the first episode where they're like, oh yeah, by the way, we're just going to jump.
Well, no,
years.
They don't like the Tanukian episode that covers 100 years of
that
them.
Was afterwards.
No, it's only because of the whiskey that it took 100 years. We didn't know it took 100 years until
the first episode with the Tanukians in it, they spend 100 years goofing off in the hotel.
Not in that episode. It's not until they leave because the Tanukians as a family, they were only in the hotel.
Right,
for
no, they check
years
out the episode
when
after.
they checked out.
Because the noodle attack was 50 years in, so it's like halfway through. So
yeah.
There's that fast and loose approach to time in a lot of the individual episodes, and then
I think that it's fast and loose is actually really an important part of this because it basically is trying to use the passage of time to say this is a world where time doesn't matter, and yet it still has all these massive effects on the world all the same.
Mm-hmm.
And it also speaks every year that passes makes the situation feel more dire and impossible for the thought of humanity ever returning to Earth.
Yeah, which is
to me.
I mean,
okay, maybe to you, like to a point, like until we're in spoiler territory by this point. Holy heck!
Are we?
Like until might as well be. We're getting to it.
Spoilers.
We're gonna start talking about spoilers otherwise. Like until humanity actually appeared. Near the very end, I was very much under the assumption that humanity was never going to return.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like that was never going to be a thing. I was down for that. Completely down for that.
You weren't wrong, right? That is what it ultimately ends up being. That like.
Well, I mean, give it another like few hundred years.
Yeah,
humanity will figure it out and come home.
Maybe some of the people staying at the hotel will do some research on how to change their genetics to be able to adapt to Earth's atmosphere again. Maybe. But like
give it enough time. Like that is kind of one of the only main negatives I have with the overarching narrative and the time skips in general is like given enough time, so many problems just don't become problems anymore. So like, can humanity readapt to Earth's atmosphere? Give it a few hundred years. Would the narrative allow for that? Absolutely. They've done it before.
I mean, this is kind of why I wanted to bring up Freerun and why I think it makes an interesting counterpoint to Freerun, because it's not that time doesn't matter, right? But large swaths of time are condensed and everybody is long-lived but not immortal, right? But I think what Apocalypse Hotel is trying to say by condensing that much time together and having these characters go through what, when you're watching minute to minute, feel like episodic little slice of life adventures that could also be taking place within the span of a year or two, right? Except for building a rocket or malt whiskey or whatever. When they go full Dr. Stone on it.
I mean, honestly, there's so much of that you could have just rather you could have explained all of that away a different way narratively so that you didn't need to do the time skips. Most of what happens, and especially like the development of like certain characters like Ponko, you could have said that all of Apocalypse Hotel happened within 25 years. And even then you can be like, well, then how would they have like 30-year aged old whiskey? This is a universe where they have humanoid androids walking around. Have a machine that can age whiskey.
No, because the fundamental point that it's trying to get at, and I think the like most profound thing about Apocalypse Hotel is that like it doesn't matter how long you live, it will feel like it was too short by the time it's all over.
See, now that I could say is a connection to Frieren.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's a philosophically very much in the same sort of play space of like, it's using these long-lived characters in a different way. We're not having this like gap of like one character lives 100 years and one lives 1,000, and they got
nobody's taking the long way around. Everyone's taking the long way around. They're just old enough so it doesn't matter. But
even with as long-lived as they are, they still have to say goodbye to each other, and that can be a temporary 500-year time skip goodbye where the anime briefly becomes Gurren Lagann.
Briefly?
Okay, where the anime permanently becomes Gurren Lagann. Which, man, holy shit. What a, like, again, when Miles was like, I'm 6 episodes in, I was like, wait. And then I checked and I was like, Tristan! 6
episodes in, man.
And then,
but here's the thing: episode 6 was such a good peak because that was the Armageddon episode. And
oh man, the like, God, what? I mean, we should have done a Armageddon side quest for this episode. Now that you reminded me, but like, that's such a great just idea for an episode. Like the big bad of some shonen anime that's going on in space comes to Earth to end civilization. Civilization's already over, so he takes a little vacation. And then, like, the main characters of the anime that he's the villain of come down to...
I saw people freaking out online about this episode when it happened, and, like, that's one of the reasons I was still keeping up with it week by week at that point. And I'm like, yeah, all that side games money is going to good use. I'm really happy. This looks fantastic. This fight scene is unnecessarily cool as hell. And I had a great time. But the only thing that I really took away from that episode is at the end, he's like, I really hope when I come back to this planet that there's a civilization here worth mass murdering. And it was like so sweet and so funny and so like, it was perfect.
And that's Yachio's love interest.
Yeah. He believes in her cause so much that he's like, I will come back here and Armageddonize your planet. I believe in you. One
day, I believe in you because I believe in you. That, but yeah,
it's so good.
But that's like, this is one of the
me that believes in Armageddon.
This is one of the funniest anime I've ever watched in my life. Like
really.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but I do agree that it is very funny.
Okay, so we're talking about the ending, for example, is one of the best jokes.
Get your ass back here. Give me a specific timeline. Like they replicate like episodes from episode 1. Like, I'll come back for you. Humans will come back for you. And Yachio's like, when? You have to tell me when. Right now. I need to plan. Don't just make me wait another 1,000 years. What the?
Don't wave at me. Yeah, but like, that's peak. But then the achievement at the end.
The achievement.
I like died laughing. I also
new achievement.
Speaking,
thank you, Tristan.
Speaking of dying and laughing, the saddest episode of this anime is also one of its funniest. Actually, no, sorry, it's tied for saddest, and they do get. You could say
that's
that
just
episode
a traditional Shakespearean tragedy for you.
Like when the grandma dies, it starts they nail every bit of the like moving on from people you care about and trying to deliver this message of we should send off the people we love with a party, right? And it makes it really emotional, but at the same time, It's
she
the
sawed the
tackiest,
granny in half.
gaudiest, most ridiculous. Like as soon as they walked out for their wedding with the standing casket behind them, I started laughing. When they added the neon lights to the casket, I was dying. But then she comes on and she sings that traditional Tanukian song, and I started crying while I was still cackling at the whole situation. And I was bouncing between these two emotions. And that's kind of this whole show, right?
Yeah.
It's got this deep, profound understanding of the human condition, of like the very little things that it demonstrates from the very first episode when Yachio has that existential crisis about the shampoo hats. And it's like, that is like...
You mean begins her 1,000-year crisis about the shampoo
Begins
hats?
her 1,000-year-long existential crisis about shampoo hats, yes. Like...
Good for her.
That's such... I was sold immediately. But
here's
then
the thing. Oh, go ahead.
It just... Every episode explores something fascinating about either philosophy or human beings or both, right? And then it packages that up in some of the funniest shit I've ever seen. Every time.
So I'm going to disagree with you a little bit here, because I don't think it gets that deep or profound until the last couple episodes. I think it is like Baby's first Kino's journey for the first 3 episodes. And I had no issue with that in terms of like it's just not that deep. It alludes to the fact that it will get there, but I don't think it actually tries to say anything meaningful, all that meaningful. Like it just is trying to set the stage for the first half of the show. And that's why when you guys were like, oh...
No, and that makes sense, too, because it wants to do that. And it's good that it did that, because then for anybody that doesn't know any better, it slowly sucks you in, very slowly, and then it builds a giant laser.
And then, the first half of the show is just fun. Like, it's just joyous. It's a little sad. It's got these little hints of existential dread going on underneath. But it's just kind of like an enjoyable romp. And then, yes, once Yachio like is away for 70 years, spending 20 years as a satellite, and then 50 years recovering and becoming Tank Girl, which is the funniest stuff. Whenever she's like, I can do this, and then she's like a tank and destroys things.
She's a Dalek. That's what she is. She's a freaking Dalek.
I feel like the show really ramps up to being meaningful in a way that I really liked. And I think whenever Tanuki are a main part of a story, it's easy to kind of like, some of my favorite stories in anime have Tanuki pretty centrally. And I think that it's like a shorthand.
Shout out to Eccentric Family.
Absolutely. It's like a shorthand to a character, a class of character archetypes that are, well, one, very Japanese, but two, not all that deep or interesting. And then you have to really work for the depth beyond those caricatures, which is fine, because this show does it. But again, there's only like 3 characters. By the way, when the environmental robot in the last episode says, this alone makes it all worth it, baby. Just having the human be sad. Like, oh, I can't, I'm back. I came all the way back here, and like, I can't breathe there. And he's like, nah, but you're here, baby. You got it.
You're here, baby.
You're here, baby.
God,
I love that guy.
Side note on that, the localization for this was fantastic.
Thank you, Geoff with the G. Did you see the guy who was doing all the amazing typesetting and editing was a Geoff with the G?
Yeah, the superior type of Geoff, I agree. But yeah, like the having that, his whole mannerisms, because environment checker robot, if you don't speak Japanese, is insanely rude. He's like using this like, for some reason he's got like a delinquent dialect going on.
Doesn't he have a pompadour on in one episode just to kind of drive that point home? I could have sworn he did.
But yeah, so he ends every sentence with "daze," and he's just got like
yada yada daze.
Yada yada daze. Yeah, he's like a parody of Jotaro Kujo, basically. or more Kakyoin. He's got a little bit more of that attitude, but like he's God, what a great character. I like every time he shows up, I'm just like, yeah, baby, I cannot wait to see what he does next. But
and of course, like Ponko absolutely peaks when she wants to be James Woods.
Yeah.
She wants to be the bestest James Woods and fire the laser.
But I mean, like just fundamentally, you need a rod from God. Like, how are you going to defend your hotel without a rod from God?
You need
Come on. You need it.
We need it so badly, we're going to go out in front of the hotel and we're going to have our little parade,
it's getting very political, and she almost gets fired for having a political demonstration while on work time. I love how 1,000 years later, basic bureaucratic hotel policies and like rules of the Japanese government that have not existed. for centuries.
They are the Japanese government now.
They are
say that. Yeah,
they're still like the you need to take a break episode, which pacing wise, perfect to put that episode 11, right?
Yeah, right before the end.
Just like perfect.
How would that
place.
not be my favorite episode, by the way, Geoff? Come on.
Yeah, you're right. I just because you really like whiskey, Miles.
Yeah, and I really like good entertainment though. More.
Okay, but I mean that I have never seen a more beautiful love letter to whiskey than that episode.
There's a PA movie. Yeah, there's a PA movie that's a
even better one.
Even better one. Okay, fair.
Also, like all of Bartender.
Yeah, so there are some bartender-ish feelings in here, but like when I say like the first half really feels like it's just setting the stage for being like thoughtful or philosophical. Like there's one episode that I like cackled when they cut to the credits because Ponko's just looking at the chickens and is like, oh, I guess they don't need real names if they're just going to be food soon. Cut to credits.
And she starts.
Yeah, it was such a perfect thing. And then at the end of the episodes, she's looking at the chickens after like eating the steak from the like dune monster and is like, and just starts feeding the chickens. And you're like, those gears are a-turning. It's so good.
But that's an interesting philosophical
conundrum.
Yeah, but it's not going that deep. It's just interesting. But that's what I mean. Like the beginning of the show is great, and I'm not trying to diminish it. I'm just saying like it's not swinging for the fences yet. Then when it does swing for the fences on like I like the funeral episode. Yeah, then all of a sudden like wow, this is real. It's really earned this journey. And so like when I
build up to it,
the girls' last tour starts off trying to be pseudo intellectual, and I'm in for it, and I'm like fully on board for that experience of like two girls going around the post-apocalypse trying not to be insightful but being very pseudo-intellectual, which is great. It's a wonderful show. Apocalypse Hotel, one of the reasons why it's significantly better to me is it tells a great story while doing that.
I also think one of its advantages is like that it does ramp up to a certain extent. It starts having fun, and it poses big philosophical questions out of the gate, but it doesn't really bother answering them until like the big questions about, humanity's place in the universe, what an individual's purpose is, all of that stuff is stuff that it ideates on throughout the entire series, but it poses right at the beginning. But like,
and it never comes to a conclusion about most of it, which I really like. So a lot of it is just putting out more things to ruminate on. Like it's just saying, it just asks a lot of questions and gives you like, it lets you parse in whatever you want because it's not beating you over the head with any of it.
But it builds the tools too, though. It ramps up very effectively to like, here's, each episode's about a bigger question than the last, but an accessible question to somebody who got through the last episode or is just starting, right? So it's like this philosophical ramp up to, by the end, very, very deep. I mean, episode 11 is like one of the most profound episodes of anime I think any of us have watched, probably.
I mean, we also have mentioned Orb in this very podcast.
Yeah, Orb is great too,
No, the thing is, like, episode 11 of this is about as profound as the average episode of Orb. To be clear.
Okay.
But I don't think that's a problem because I don't need it to be deeply philosophical. The level of the depth in which it goes to is perfect for what this is trying to do.
So I also, the reason I want to point to episode 11 because I think it's so good is because like
it's so one of the best episodes of anime I've ever seen. I'll give you that.
So yeah, maybe the point is the point itself isn't as profound as Orb, but I think the way that story is told, the amount that it shows rather than tells,
there's no dialogue for 17 minutes in a row, I think.
It's
great.
Impeccable. And
it's
like
not the record, but it's getting close to it.
Oh man, the emotional roller coaster that it takes you on with just scenery and a couple little like story beats between long moments of wandering and thinking. It's just
when she makes a fire and for all the animal critters, and we're like, you have to like put that little bit of thought to think she's a robot. She doesn't need the fire. It's really to keep the animals warm and like to have that community. And it's like, oh, that's really nice. But like the show's not, again, it never beats you on the head with like, here's what I'm trying to say. And I love that subtlety everywhere in Apocalypse Hotel. But like episode 11 does it so perfectly without being like, well, overly contrived about it. Too.
Like my favorite thing about it is the entire episode is very explicitly and intensely about Yachio contemplating the possibility of her own death.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't hear her inner monologue on that at any point. She barely voices any thoughts about it. It's just, we see the things that she's seeing. We have her experience from having watched the show ourselves, right? And we can piece these things together. It doesn't hold your hand at all, right?
No.
Except in the sense that the entire show has been holding your hand to get you to the point where you can kind of understand that. But
she does say the thesis as the final line of the episode, which also
yes.
hits really hard. I felt alive. Like, oh my God, it was so good. But it, this is not trying to be the most dense, like,
it's not trying to be Evangelion.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I think that's what makes it great, right? Is that it's just comfortable exploring these ideas and being about what it's about. And it doesn't need anybody to think it's especially smart. It doesn't need to blow anybody's mind.
Yeah.
It's just this like beautiful rumination on life, the universe, and everything. A very fascinating perspective. And I also just love how like I touched on this with the grandma episode, but it hits some of the deepest and most existentially frightening or emotional moments of the series with hilarious jokes. Like the first existential crisis is over shampoo hats, and it's like a legitimate existential crisis. You fully understand what Yachio's going through and why the shampoo hat not being there completely breaks her, because, you've been through the episode up to that point. But that doesn't make it any less funny that she's like crashing out over shampoo hats. Like when the grandma died, I had like a twinge of sadness, but I also laughed out loud because of the little joke that like the older Tanukians get, the more that their leaf wilts, and her leaf was like black and dead when she was dead. And I was like, that's such a clever little character design thing. That's such a great little running gag that they've had going with these characters. And then they even bring that back in episode 11 when she like, when she gets out of the life or death situation, they show the wilted leaf and the regular leaf like sliding together, and that like builds on this motif of life and death that this story has been like subtly interweaving with a character design gag on the Tanukians. It's just hilarious and evocative and emotional at the same time, and it's just I love it so much. It's yeah, sorry, I just I love when comedy gets deep like that.
So where on the list is it going?
Before that, Tristan, I do want to ask you guys a question.
Okay.
Which is episode 10, the murder mystery episode. I think you guys both like it a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that wishes in a perfect world there'd be 12 more episodes of this show, all just at that point in the story, that were all like the murder mystery episode. Because but doing whatever. It doesn't have to be like just the what do we do? We'll cover it up. Like, oh my god, it was so funny. Like the little Tamako, their little girl, Tanuki girl, is fantastic. Like everything about that episode is fantastic. And I felt at that point, I'm like, oh, we're here. We've earned this episode, and it's going to be all rough from here. And it wasn't as rough as I thought, but like at that point in time, I'm like,
some really more fun and games would have been.
I would have been happy with the universe where we see 12 more episodes. At
12 episodes. It would have been nice if this was a 24 instead of a 12, and we were able to get those episodes. That would have been nice.
12 episodes of the hotel just existing, Tamako being cute.
A little bit more slice of lifey in our other 12 episodes.
If they do get a second season of this somehow, which probably never going to happen, or maybe they get some OVAs or something, that would be the period I would like to see them explore more. Although I'm also interested in seeing what happens now that the humans are back, if they come back. But they can't
tell us a story.
The ending's perfect is the thing, right? Like literally.
Well, the thing is, because it takes places over the course of so much time, it would be so easy for them to just be like, okay, hey, there's like 1,000 years. We're just going to come here, right here. This is where the next 12 episodes are going to go, right in here.
Do some Persona 4 Golden the Animation style infill, where it's just like episodes meant to fit in between other episodes.
Yeah, essentially.
I see what you mean. Like, I wanted more of that dynamic. That's when it feels like they've set up the sitcom perfectly and you can let this just run. And I mean, of those hypothetical 12 episodes that don't exist, I do think that the covering up the murder mystery episode would have been the funniest. Like they picked the funniest possible sitcom episode to do.
Yeah. No, and I mean, again, it's not one of my favorite episodes, but I really, really liked it.
I mean,
the thing is, the fact that it felt like, oh, Earth is home now, and it felt like we're here, and it felt stable, was almost felt tragic in the moment because I knew there would be complications, and we got those complications in such a wonderful way, and that ending being the most satisfying, perfect ending, like you mentioned. So, Tristan,
we need to figure out where it's going on the list, and we need to do so in a reasonable amount of time. So I'm going to pick a midpoint on the list of what is already here, and we'll just see above or below that, and we'll keep going until we can figure it out. Would you put it above Bloodlust?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you put it above...
Tristan? Okay.
Yeah. Would you put it above Princess Jellyfish?
Yes.
I don't know.
Because I don't know if I would, but then again, this is a combined thing of the three of us. So... would you put it, Geoff, above Princess Mononoke?
Yes.
Would you put it above Frieren?
Yes. Yes.
Would you put it above Chihaya Furu?
No.
Yes.
You would? Maybe.
Well, I also have only seen the first season and a half, so I'm a little different than you guys.
I mean, I'm like saving season 3 because I'm a little scared from what Tristan and Sungwon told me about how it ends, and I'm just gonna be blue-balled for the rest of my life. Yep. I need a little,
around the same level as Frieren for me, I think.
I'd say it's like the Frieren to Chihaya Furu level, and I don't know, because Chihaya Furu, my gut instinct is no, because we've talked about this a lot, Miles. I am someone who really appreciates longer stories that like you get to live with those characters for a while. Whereas you are, I want the tightest version of this story possible almost
Tight
all
90.
of the time.
Well,
Except in the case of Dungeon Crawler Carl, where you are learning to appreciate fun in games. And you just said
so,
that this could use another...
Listen, my favorite TV show is Deep Space Nine. I'm not against being able to live in another world for 26 hours a year.
You just believe that shorter, tighter stories are better.
Well, not shorter. Not
shorter,
tighter. So the thing is, Apocalypse Hotel, to me, I want those 12 more episodes, and I don't need them. I want them desperately, and the show is 10 times better that it doesn't have them. And this is actually where I look at something like, I compare it to things like Kino's Journey, which I love, and I compare it to Girls Last Tour, which I love, and I compare it to these things, and I just have to feel like Apocalypse Hotel does fundamentally the same thing, but better for me in what I'm looking for in a story. And I did not feel this way until the last 3 or 4 episodes. Really the last 2, where I'm like, oh, now it's all coming together. Where I felt like, oh, it deserves all the like good feelings I had, because it just was a bunch of good feelings. Tristan, I know we didn't get to hear too much of your thoughts about this show at all. I'd love to know just like where you evaluate it in that world.
Like, as far as like tightness and things?
Well, no, in terms of like compared to those other... I know you're a big Kino's Journey guy. You're a big...
No, I am a big Kino's Journey fan. The thing is like when it comes to comparing it to Kino's Journey and like Mushishi, I feel like the things that I really... Well, even Girls Last Tour. I think the things that I love about more is that they are more kind of setting and environmental driven to a point. Kino's Journey, the reason why you like it is where Kino goes. Girls Last Tour is what they run into. It's those sorts of things. Like I feel like Apocalypse Hotel is far more about the characters themselves rather than like not just them, but then also how they deal with things rather than where they go, because they don't really move.
It is the epitome of situation comedy.
Yeah.
It is like, you have this cast, this like literally eternal and unchanging cast.
Yeah.
Dealing with situations, and the situations are where the comedy and humor comes from. You're like, throw these characters into this situation, see what happens.
I want to see what Yachio's facial expression is from that. Yeah.
Like, I'm surprised, Geoff, that you would put this above Dungeon Meshi.
Me too.
Wait. Where's Dungeon Meshi?
Dungeon Meshi is just above Bloodlust right now, and
so you didn't say Dungeon Meshi, but I know,
but I didn't mention literally everything. I was skipping trying to find a good place of where. Well,
the thing is, I would also
Bloodlust. Then I did another like kind of halfway up, which was Jellyfish. Okay, then we're starting to get into the top 5 where I kind of need to go one at a time.
Well, then maybe I need to. I don't know. Maybe I'd rank Dungeon Meshi above Jellyfish, but. I mean, Dungeon Meshi is where it is due to a combination of all 3 of our placements, right? And I would place Dungeon Meshi higher than
probably
you guys would.
Probably higher it. Yeah.
Well, no, I mean, that's always going to be part of it, because like Royal Space Force is extremely low right now, like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But no, it's just where you would put it, and that's why it doesn't have to be consistent. But like, where are we going to put it? Are we putting this above Freerun? Because
I want to.
Geoff and Miles want to, obviously. But
obviously.
Tristan, are you at that level with this show?
No.
Because
I would put it above Jellyfish. I would put it above Jellyfish.
But I'm saying like this is making the list for sure for you.
Oh no, it's making the list.
Where are you putting your own? It's
not
an
argument of is it on the. Well, I mean, maybe down the line once we have like 100 more episodes, whatever. That's like, but the list as it's currently standing, yes, it's making the list. It's just
where is it on your personal top 100? Do you think?
I need to look it up.
Because to me, this is like top 20 or so TV shows.
I mean, I don't know if it would go in my top 25, but it would definitely be in my top. Ooh, because see, I have Orb at 31, and I don't know if I would put this above Orb.
Well, yeah, Orb should be much higher, but that's okay.
That's fair. Like, I would say it's somewhere between 25 to 50 in my top 100 list.
Okay, so it's a top 50 anime for you too.
Yeah.
Like, then when we're trying to figure out where on our ranking to put it, like because it's only like top 25, top 50, the idea of starting to put it within our top 10 is kind of a little to me at the moment. Also because of like what some of the things we have on the list currently
But
are.
it is also brand new, and it feels weird putting a brand new anime in your top 10.
Does not bother me in the slightest. But like, I'm okay putting it above Princess Jellyfish and Frieren. I'm not okay putting it above Slam Dunk. But like, I can't, we can't.
But you can't do both, yeah.
Can't do both. So like, I'm right now arguing for let's put it between Frieren and Mononoke.
I think that's a pretty fair place to put it. I like.
Well, that's kind of the thing, because like, if we were to do this individually, I would probably place it like between Meshi and Slam Dunk.
So we're all in the same neighborhood, man.
I know it's all the same neighborhood, but like the actual positioning matters.
It does.
Let's put it between Jellyfish and Slam Dunk then.
Well, no, I think.
Because the thing is, I have a feeling Geoff would put it like above Chiayi Furu, potentially like in and around ReZero range.
Is this a top 10 anime for you, Geoff?
Top 20? I feel like, there's a lot of good anime out there, right? And
yeah, that's the other thing too.
But like, if I'm thinking about like original 12-episode anime that have like pulled me through the full gamut of emotions, told a great story, just like fully use that time.
We haven't even talked about Anohana yet.
It's a tighter 12 than, Anohana's 11 episodes, but it's tighter than Anohana.
It's the same range, yeah.
It is.
But like it's tighter than Anohana. It's funnier and tighter, and sometimes even has better action than Bang Brave, Bang Bravern. Just brutally sad at points. Every single episode is like a 10 out of 10 banger.
Are all three of us happy putting this above Dungeon Meshi though? That's hard.
Only because
keeping in mind that Dungeon Meshi is as far down as it is because it is the combined.
Yeah. Dungeon. The thing is,
we might revisit Dungeon Meshi as well.
It's in Dungeon Meshi territory for me. I love the world. I love the characters. I need more time to ruminate on it. Is the thing, right? Like I need more time to really digest it, to like feel out how much I love it. But like if I think about the individual moments, there's so few anime that make me cry are special, right? But an anime that can have me crying while I am laughing my ass off is really something special. Yeah, but like I do really need to watch Gintama. But it is also just a perfect 12, right? Like it's
we keep saying that.
But is there anything
we said that about Dress Up Darling, we said that about parts of Konosuba, we said that about Jellyfish.
Did we say that about Dress Up Darling?
Did not say that about any of those.
No,
yes, we did.
Nope.
I don't.
We have totally talked about like tight 11s, tight 12s before.
Tight, not perfect. Nowhere near perfect. Konosuba season 1, no. It's an ideal for season. It's not perfect by any means.
Yeah.
Like by that same logic, I wouldn't call Apocalypse Hotel perfect either.
No, I would say this is much less approachable. Much more approaches perfection. To me, this is a pretty I don't agree that the highs are as high as Geoff. I'm not as high on the highs as Geoff is, but I do agree that like there's no lows in this.
I'm like a big proponent of absurdism and black comedy, and like
I like those.
This has has both of those things in spades. I would say that like when it goes for dark humor, particularly, it's that the murder mystery episode is like some of the funniest stuff I've seen in my life. But like as a comedy enthusiast is the main thing that I'm coming here, and I'm like, this uses humor the way that I want to see art use humor. It uses it to make me think. It uses it to make me laugh my ass off, make me cry, make me feel dread. But it's always funny.
Is it funnier than Delicious in Dungeon?
Yeah. I love Delicious in Dungeon, I love Delicious in Dungeon a lot. But if I'm thinking about like moments that made me laugh out loud, the funeral, the Yada, Muri, when she's chainsaw facing off with that worm and like the whole build up and payoff of that.
So do you want to put it above Chihaya, Geoff? Let's just lock in where we want it personally right now.
It's in that, like, I mean, I said I was contemplating Chihaya for top 10, right?
You were.
And
you said this was more like top 20.
I said top 15. Maybe after I've ruminated on it more, it might go up or down. I don't know. But like, I'm seriously thinking about it in the same ballpark as Chihaya, and it's like there are things I like about that more, things that that only like a longer form story can do, really drilling into characters and what drives them, and giving those like long form payoffs. Like Apocalypse Hotel does a decent job of long form payoffs by just condensing the episodes to allow the long form payoffs to happen in 2 or 3 episodes. But like,
or in the same episode, even.
Or in the same episode.
I mean, I guess, Tristan, can we get this above Delicious in Dungeon for you then?
I mean, if you're putting it above Dungeon Meshi, you're only just, like, for me personally, because I would still put Dungeon Meshi above this.
I think, to me, they're very close. So, me putting this above Princess Jellyfish, probably, but, like, I'm not actually emotionally ready to make that claim yet. So that's why I'm saying, like...
You got to digest it more, yeah.
Putting it at number 9 on our list as it is now, below Slam Dunk and above Delicious in Dungeon, I can do that with comfortably. Geoff, I know you want this to go above Frieren, and I like it more than Frieren specifically, but I really do like Frieren, and like I'm okay with Frieren being above it because especially Tristan's number 1. So, like, where does it fall then? Around the same level as Princess Mononoke, Jellyfish, and Slam Dunk, and Delicious in Dungeon. So I think right now we're talking about, is it 9th or 10th? Realistically, between the 3 of us.
When you talk like that, it makes me want to just like talk it up even harder, just to.
Then say it's above Chihaya, and then we'll have to compromise with you a little bit more.
Fine, it's above Chihaya. I mean, like, the thing is, that feels like a very difficult statement to make now because, like,
because you know that Sungwon's going to come back eventually and judge you for it.
And
I mean, the thing is, I think that Sungwon would love Apocalypse Hotel.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As much as Chihaya, though?
No.
I mean, Sungwon will never love anything as much as Chihaya. But,
Tristan, Geoff's advocacy means that we can't put this probably below 8th. Are you willing to do 8? You willing to put this above Slam Dunk?
I'm willing to put it above Slam Dunk, yeah.
Are you willing to put it above Jellyfish?
Really not.
But that's because Jellyfish is lower because of our averages, right? Like, Jellyfish is really
Jellyfish
high.
is extremely high for all 3 of us.
That's
just the problem.
That's true. The thing, I mean, Jellyfish is a really tight 12. I think this is a tighter 12 than Jellyfish, though.
Sure, but Jellyfish has higher highs. Let's put it below Jellyfish at 8. Final answer. Boom.
Okay, all right.
Final answer for today. Like, that's the
we can move
wonderful
stuff
nebulous
around.
thing about our list. We will always come back to it. Everything is subject to change at any time.
For any reason. Because why? Fuck you.
I am sure that one of you is going to horse race this in the future. Really.
Horse trade?
Horse trade, sorry.
Horse trade, yeah.
Uma Musume's on the brain. I'm sorry. It's fine.
Those aren't horses, though. Those are Uma Musume's.
Yeah. Yes, because like, they were horses. It's an isekai.
Yeah.
Uma Musume's an isekai.
I'm comfortable, I'm comfortable with below Princess Jellyfish, although, like, I can accept... Your
personalist would have it a lot higher.
I can accept that. I mean...
I will say it needs to be above Princess Jellyfish if you let me move Royal Space Force up above Dungeon Meshi.
He's not letting you put Royal Space Force above Dungeon Meshi. He's not going to let you do that. He's not going to let you do that.
Are
Not
you, Tristan?
After all of the stuff that he says about Dungeon Meshi, there's no way he's putting Royal Space Force above Dungeon Meshi.
I mean...
Are you even considering this, Geoff?
I think Apocalypse Hotel deserves the ups, man. Like, if we're talking about...
It's top 10 right now.
It's already in the top 10.
Right now, the top 10 is going to...
change.
It finished airing 5 weeks ago, Geoff.
Yeah, I know. And I think it's only going to grow in fondness for all of us the longer time goes on.
That's why I'm okay with it being top 10. That's why I told you I just need to get over emotionally that it's going to be about Princess Jellyfish for me at some point. It's a really good show.
It is. It's a very strong contender for anime of the year. There's
Orb.
I'd put it above Orb. I like Orb a lot, right? I
do enjoy Apocalypse Hotel a lot.
There is one other show
Not
this
above
season.
Orb.
How is Tristan not the biggest defender of this show? What world are we living in where Tristan is not the guy fighting for Apocalypse Hotel? I don't understand. Like, up is down, down is up. Tristan is saying whatever to Apocalypse Hotel.
Because I don't know, man. Maybe he's been replaced by a robot.
And the titty guy is saying yes.
How am I the titty guy? I just appreciate... I don't let titties get in the way of me.
I let titties get in the way of everything in my life personally, but that's another story.
But
all right.
But I do love ecchi. I do love ecchi.
Can you give me like 10% more Tim Rogers than that?
I love ecchi.
I love it. No, that got more Carl. But
Goodbye.
Bye.
Next time on Quest for the Best, Space Adventure Cobra.